A question that we get frequently from people is, how much is the closing cost that I should be expect to pay? So I think closing cost goes in two buckets. Ultimately, you have bucket one that I assume is your closing cost, which is really going to be your lender fees, your title fees, everything that's going to be tacked on there, such as your taxes, your insurance for your escrow account. That's what I consider your closing cost. A lender, they're going to consider your closing cost as like a cash to close, right? So that's going to include what I just talked about, but as well as your down payment. Right. So you have your full cash to close from your lender, and then what I view from a real estate side is your actual closing cost there. So a good way to really calculate that is I would say you're looking at about 3 to 5% of your loan cost is going to be your typical closing cost. That is not including your down payment. So if you're buying a $200,000 house, I would say expect around $8,000 of closing costs, which is about 4%, right? And the higher you get up there, it doesn't scale up to where if you're buying $1 million house, closing cost is 5% of that. It scales way down once you kind of hit that 350 400 mark. It doesn't scale up like that. But those are some typical average closing costs. But ultimately, talk to your lender there. They're going to be able to give you some exact ballpark numbers, much closer than that. But again, about 3 to 5% of your loan is typical closing fees.